Hello everyone. Very good evening to you all. So we are just waiting for more participants to join in. We'll start, I guess, in next couple of minutes. Okay, so I guess now we can start the session. It's already 5:09. So we'll begin with the session now. Once again, a very good evening to you all. It's good to see you all again here. So, in what we have planned for today's session is that firstly, we'll quickly go through the common problems that we have uh, observed or we have, find out from the week three lab assignment submissions. That I guess we already have listed all of the common mistakes for week two lab assignments for both of HTML and CSS assignments. The week three was pending. We were just waiting for, uh, I guess, some more people to join in the live session so that we can we can make that information reach to each and everyone at least. But anyways, we are not observing any good strength, I guess, from the last week. So we'll begin. We'll try to do it today, and I hope that the rest of the people, I guess, can go to YouTube and watch this session if they need to really consult something. Uh, so okay, so I'll quickly start sharing my screen, and we'll go through what are the common problems in the week three lab assignments. Uh, I would just like to confirm, am I audible at this moment?
Yes, you are audible.
Okay, okay, thanks. Okay, is my screen visible?
Yes, it's visible.
Okay, nice. I hope you can see this slide, week 3 assignment.
Yes, yes.
Okay, the slide is visible, correct. Okay, great. So yeah, as you can see on the screen here that we have received a total of 354 submissions for week 3 particularly. So now we'll start with the common mistakes. Okay, so this is the very first thing that we have encountered, that which of the test cases have got failed in most of the cases, and we find out that this is the test case that got failed, that the wrong inputs, they were not handled correctly in the code. So I would just try to show you a common pattern that what people have done, what learners have tried to implement. They have tried to implement this kind of code. Let's say if X is a list that has all of the command line parameters contained in it, and what we are checking here is you are checking, okay, if one of them is -c, then you will do some computations. The other one is if it is -s, you will do some computations probably for the student, and if it is -c, you will do something probably for the course. But yeah, please, I would let me first complete all of these things, then I would be happy to take up all of your doubts. So here, what are the possible cases that if we try to enter, let's say -c as our first argument to our program, it will give this as an input, as a command line parameter input to our program, and let's say the second ID that was supposed to be a valid course ID, I don't give it as a valid ID. Suppose I typed it something else. I typed it, let's say, -c, and the next parameter I typed it as -s. In that case, this condition will become wrong. This will never go into the else condition, and this will try to do some computations with the whatever you would have written there. Now, I can understand that many of the people would have done something that if the second parameter is not the expected one, they would have written some code in order to generate the appropriate template. That I understood, but what we have observed in most of the cases is that people are trying to follow this kind of pattern, where they are checking -c as the first or -s as the first argument, and if it is not, then they are considering it as some other. Okay. So we have emitted some of the code from here in order to just show you what most of the learners are trying to do. So this is just one of the snapshot of those common problems that we have find out while doing some of the samplings. And of course, this was a test case that got failed for most of the learners. So I guess this is what you see, that where you would have went wrong. I am not saying that each and every learner would have done the same kind of mistake. There are so many other things which can lead to failure of test cases too, but this is the most common that we have find out. Okay, so this is the very first, or I guess the highest percentage of people have got it wrong, as you can see out of the 358 submissions that we have received. Yeah, 354 submissions. Out of those 354, around 42% people have got this thing wrong. Okay, so the second issue here is the average and maximum marks doesn't match. So if you can remember the problem statement for the week 3 lab assignment statement, so there you were supposed to create I guess, 3 HTML pages, one for course, one for student, and the other one for wrong inputs. So in that case, for course, you need to do some kind of computations, extract some data from the CSV file, and render it on the HTML file accordingly. So I would just like to point out some of the common things here. I am not sure what this highest value is and how this is computed. We have not checked the actual logic, how it is done, but you can see here that one of the value has been hardcoded, right? So straight out average equals to 50. So that means this test case will definitely got failed. Of course, maybe for for some of the few cases, this thing might got correct if the average is actually coming 50. But with so many chances, with all of the probabilities, it will definitely get wrong, as it's nearly impossible to get the 50 average with some private test cases or with some different kind of combinations of test cases, right? So this is the thing that I guess some people have tried out. So you can see the percentage here to the 39% of people who have got it wrong. Now, this is a combination of the percentage that maybe some people would have tried to hard code here and maybe did some mistake in order to compute the average or the highest marks. So this is the possible reason. This is the other thing. Three headers not being used for a student specific output. So I guess for the student, you were supposed to create a table with three headers, I guess student ID, course ID, and marks. So we were specifically checking for the header text there, but people have still used the table data. So that has led to some, I guess, some failure of test cases. Okay. This is also one of the things that we have observed. Okay, so the other thing is that I hope you can still remember the problem statement that when you are supposed to create the course page, you are also supposed to create a histogram of the marks distribution that we are getting for a particular course ID. So you need to embed that image in your HTML page, or you need to render that image somehow. So what we have observed is that many people have not even tried to generate the image. If they have tried, they have not used the appropriate code so that it will get rendered into the HTML page, or maybe not provided the correct address. And there is one more thing that I would like to mention here, that it was, I guess, specifically mentioned in the lab assignment statement too, that whatever files you will be creating, doesn't matter it's the output.html file that you were supposed to create or any other image file. For example, in this course specific output, you are supposed to create one histogram image, that both of these things should be created in the current directory, in the current working directory where you are working at that moment. But what people are trying to do is people are trying to create those images in some other locations that may belong to their systems. So we have kind of avoided that thing now. We have not deducted the marks in these cases, but I would just like to mention that this is one of the guidelines. This was one of the guidelines that was not adhered properly. Okay, so this is one of the screenshot where you can see that no image has been used. No image has been created or no image has been rendered onto the HTML page. Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. The other one is like I showed you for the course specific output where you were supposed to show the average marks or the highest marks along with an image. The same way you need to do some extraction from the CSV file for a student specific output, right? Where you need to extract all of the course IDs and the corresponding marks for each of the course and list them onto a table, onto an HTML table, and accordingly create the template out of it. So the reason that why we have not pasted the screenshot here is because it might be a logical issue. It might be a logical problem with the code that you might have written. As what we have observed is that people have tried to use their own CSV files with whatever columns, with some altered columns that they were not supposed to use. We have already provided one data.csv file along with this assignment as the data set, and you were supposed to use the same columns as we are using a different data set at the backend. So if you will try to change the headers, you will try to change the values or do some kind of formatting, that will actually lead to problem while evaluating your assignment against the private test cases. So this is one of the issue. The other one was the Python program file was supposed to be named as app.py only. But maybe some people would have tried to do it on REPL8, so there the default file name is main.py. I can definitely understand, but once they will download that file, they are supposed to change the file names. It was a specific instruction mentioned in the lab assignment statement that the file name must be app.py. This is the thing that we have got to know while doing the sampling, while manually checking some of the students' submissions, and that's where we got to know that the file name is itself wrong. In that case, none of their test cases would have been passed. So the ones who have gotten 0, the most likely reason is that either their file name is not matching with the one as given in the assignment statement. The other one is that they might have not put all of the files in the root directory of their zip submission. These are the two reasons that are very likely to happen if someone has gotten 0. in week 3 lab assignment. Okay, so this is again one of the common problem. I would say not very common, but this is again what we have got to know while doing the sampling, while manually evaluating, that many people have tried to use the input function, but they were supposed to use the command line parameters. The way your Python script is called or invoked with the help of private test cases is that it is supposed to accept two command line parameters, right? And if your script is not doing that, that means you won't be awarded with any mark, or even means, of course, we are trying to execute that Python file via, of course, via some private test cases. That means your actual Python file will be executed by some other program, right? So in that case, the exit code matters. That means if the file or the program that you have written, is it running successfully with the input that we have provided here? Now, of course, if you are looking for inputs from the user inputs, and we are looking for command line parameters as the inputs, that would definitely not result the appropriate exit code that it should return. So again, I would like to mention this is a thing that we have got to know while doing sampling. So just wanted to make you aware of that this might be the mistake that maybe some of your peers or anyone would have done here in this weekly lab assignment. The other thing is that the name of the output HTML file was supposed to be output.html, as you can see in this. That doesn't matter if you are working on a student specific output, a course specific output, or what I say, or even a wrong input. The file, the name of the file, the HTML file, it must be output.html, doesn't matter what you get. But as you can see here, this is one of the issue. I would not say that this is completely wrong, but yes, this I am not sure if this submission would have got any marks. The reason is that you can see here that whoever has submitted it is trying to open an HTML file in the reading mode. Now, as I said, that your Python script is actually being executed by some other program, and doesn't matter where you will keep this file, at whatever folder, at whatever place or location. If this file is not present in that current working directory, wherever this file is located, template1.html, which you are trying to open in the read mode, this program will definitely generate an error, and no test case will even be executed. None of the test case will even be executed if this is the statement that the script will encounter, or even the Python interpreter will encounter. I'm not sure at what position this statement would have kept it, at what place you would be calling this temp1 function in your program. Bringing out this issue that this was not acceptable. Yeah, means you are trying to read from a external file that is not actually present in at the place where your submissions are evaluated. So that is gonna simply create a problem. The other thing that will clarify this, that output.html was not actually the name. So here's the screenshot. As you can see here, that someone is trying to use some other name, let's say page.html. So that's definitely not the correct one. Even if you have written the completely correct program that is supposed to pass all of the test cases, but that will only pass very few of them. The reason is that most of the testing is happening on the HTML files that are being created as the output while after running this whole Python program or your submission here. So if it is creating output file name page.html, we are not looking for any such name. We are only looking for output.html. So if you have used any different name, so none of the test, I would not say none of the test cases, many of the test cases won't even be executed at all. The other problem, I guess, this we have already discussed in the student specific side. The same problem was present in the course specific output too, that you were supposed to use some, I guess, in course specific output. I guess there were two headers, average marks or I guess maximum marks. You were supposed to use two headers, but those two headers were not present. Maybe people have tried to use TD as the tag there. So this is again a common problem. As you can see, the 10.7% people have got it wrong. So this is one of the screenshot that is clarifying that. You can see that TD has been used in order to provide the header information. Okay, so these are the common issues that we have come across while doing the sampling or some of the manual evaluation for week 3 lab assignments. We just wanted to list it here. There might be many other issues that we have not listed it here, as very few of them would have done that mistake. So yeah, okay. So we are happy to take your queries if you have any. Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
So is there any question that anyone has in their mind?
No question, sir. It was, it's okay. But there was a one request was there, sir. Whenever the question was mentioned, no,
Yeah.
one point took thinking so much time when the marks was given, the student information and marks, no.
Yeah.
That time it was not mentioned that marks is that integral or the float. So to modify it took the so much time and unnecessary. I have to read the so much algorithm to take care about the both. So
See,
if it is also
if
mentioned in the question,
that's the
that
only issue, so let me just clarify this thing here, that there were no, I would say, float marks that were used in the private test cases. All of them were the complete integers. Yes, it is quite possible that if you would have tried to compute the average of the marks, there's all the possibility, all the probability that the answer would have come in the decimal or the floating point number. But
Mhm.
as far as the marks are concerned, they all were the complete integers.
So actually it was not mentioned. So if it is mentioned clearly, no, so it's easy to write the algorithm. Otherwise, I have to write the extra algorithm to the take care about the float and the thing. Because if we consider the float, then there is a possibility the whatever the marks will display, it will come the point zero, even if it is
Okay.
integral.
Yeah.
So there was a I was thinking that, but anyhow, the all test passes. No other problem was there in this week, because this week was that more about that output,
Okay.
not about the configuring the code with the limited number of the tag. So it was relatively easy. So only that was the thing what I felt during the solving. So what if the marks are the number of the is the float?
Okay. Okay. Well, all right. Point well taken, Kumar.
Yes.
But as far as I can remember, for the week 3, what we were doing was that when we were extracting the values from the table, we were explicitly converting all of the values into the integers if they are supposed to be the marks. However, if they are supposed to be the average, we are converting, I guess, it into the appropriate float or whatever other data type exists. But as far as the marks are concerned, we are definitely trying to typecast it into the integer and compare those values. So I don't think even if you would have written, let's say, 98.0, that would have been converted into the integer.
No,
It
the
should not create any problem.
no, sir. Problem was there. I thought, but I thought if the suppose we are taking the marks from the CSV, so whatever the first time it's come in the Python, it's come in the integral format. If directly I say that convert integral to the int, if I write the int directly, and if there is a fractional and the float marks there, then
Yeah.
completely it's not about that. It will convert integer. It will give completely error, and entire program will be lost,
Okay.
because converting a string float to the int is not possible. So that's why. So we have to do one thing: first convert to the float, and then float convert to the int. So
Okay.
And once we do this, so relatively many places I have to take care about that, what value is what. That's why.
Okay. Got it. Got your point. Okay. All right. We'll take care of this thing from the next time, whenever it will
Okay.
such thing will come. Okay. So anyone else has anything to ask?
In this week 3 assignment, week 3 assignment, most of the cases you showed were quite comprehensive. So I think most people would understand. But I think last session I had attended that CSS thing also,
Yeah.
where you showed all the possible errors.
Yes. Yes.
But that even now I don't have much clarity on where I may have made a mistake.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Same here also, because till now we got a marks cut in that even in CSS only, and don't know where that cut is there. And one point I realized that I didn't care about that. He was telling the when the navigation link there was a underline, no,
Yeah.
but it was not mentioned anywhere that we have to not keep the underline, and it didn't even come in that thought.
Okay.
And some of the friend also told that they through the picture they can't even see the difference. So if it is written, it is that there is a no underline should be there, then we can think. But it's very hard to see when see that link is working. Okay, fine. It is very minute error like that to get the underline. So one
But
thing
you
I
cannot.
think that,
But
yes.
yeah, 1 minute. But you cannot write it in the problem statement because it is a CSS assignment. You will have to see the screenshots and decide. Like you cannot write that the text color of this thing is red, or if you will write everything is exposed, then
No, sir.
there is
I
nothing
got
to do in the assignment then.
no. I got that everything was correct. Color is also fine. There
Uh,
was a one underline line
Yeah,
was there.
underline you guys missed it. I completely understand because a lot of people has made mistake there.
But how
That,
we don't know because it is the standard way of that just CSS just put it this standard way. So I just put the CSS and didn't even come to the notice that there is underline. It's very minute and not mentioned. So just missed it. It's not that I and nowhere was written that there should
yeah,
not be.
that's what I'm like saying, that it's not like possible to write these things. Otherwise, it will, if you will write that there is no underline, there should not be underline. I mean, how many things you will write in? That's why that screenshots were given.
But
That you will have to, yeah.
it was very hard to predict that minute error. It's like that
Yeah, we
that's
understand. Yeah.
we are solving some puzzle type of problem to find the error. It was actually it was the it was not come in the detection.
Yeah, we are trying to like reevaluate that. We will try to like reduce the weightage of that thing.
Okay, thank you, sir.
So one more thing, you just mentioned that things like color you could not mention. Any idea how many people made a mistake in that color?
Color, people have a lot of people has also made mistake in colors. We have given them the color code also, so that they could
Yes, yes.
see the screenshot and then can check the color code and then assign the color value.
Uh, that okay, I didn't make that mistake, but because you said many people made that mistake, do you think that at least a small percentage of the people who are doing this course are color blind?
Yeah, I mean,
That is possible.
yeah, that is
I mean,
possible. I completely understand.
just to think about it, I'm saying it.
Yeah.
Not for me, but there may be.
Yeah, there may be people.
So because we learned about accessibility and all that, I'm just bringing that point also.
Yes, but if you like leave the colors also, there will not be a lot to do in the.
Yes,
like,
yes. I understand your point. We'll take it.
And
I mean, some of the things were like I was not able to understand why someone will do it. Like the color code was given, and then
Yes.
someone has assigned the color value, and color code he has assigned some shade of that color value. I mean, I don't know.
Yes, that's possible.
And one question, sir, here in that color coding.
Yeah.
Suppose in the question it was mentioned the 00 double F and the 00.
Yeah.
So if someone will write 0F0, so
That is also correct.
correct, no?
Yeah,
Okay.
we are taking care of that thing.
Okay.
Do you guys have any issue in week 4 assignment?
No, sir. Not from my side, sir. Okay.
Anybody else? Because I saw a thread complaining about week 4 also. For the CSS, we are going to like reassign the marks for sure. For some of the properties, we are going to like reevaluate.
Okay. But underline problem will be same as the in HTML also, no?
No, HTML. No. There will not be any such problem underline because HTML is all about HTML assignment. CSS
Okay.
won't be evaluated at all.
Okay, so using the CSS, we had to remove that one.
Yeah.
Okay. So, sir, today can we start about that as you told that about that 3 table?
Yeah. So okay. I just wanted to clarify one thing. I'm not sure if you would have observed the titles for the sessions of this week. I guess
Yes.
the title of this session, especially this session, remains as it is, as it used to be in the previous weeks. But the title for the next 2 sessions has been changed. I hope you would have seen that at least. So what we are planning to do is we are planning to take it forward in the next session. As since we have put the title as such, you would have read that. So we are hoping for more people to join in. So the reason why we are not doing such thing here, that thing here, so that the people who would have seen that session and will try to join in, they can at least take the maximum advantage out of that session. So if required, we will extend that session whenever Sorry.
Okay, sir. So we will start the next session.
Yeah, so I guess most of the people, at least the ones who have attended the last few live sessions, they would know what we are doing, what type of web application we are trying to create. But yeah, in the next session, we will try to take an example of many-to-many relationship as we discussed last time. And maybe we'll try to give a simple overview of what we have done till now, so that the people who would have joined this session for the first time may at least get an idea what has been done till now. But after that, we'll take it forward from there itself. We will extend the session if required. Okay.
Okay.
And yeah.
One more thing, sir. Can I ask?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So I have that when the database connection was there, no? So I went through that and I got something. So I want to know about the connection. 2, 3. Suppose that we are learning that SQLite.
Okay.
So I also try to connect with the suppose sometime MySQL, or we are learning on the PostgreSQL.
Yeah, sure.
So it is the same thing is that. So there is a 3 way of connecting through the database. One is that SQL Alchemy. Second is that individual module for that comes to connection, like MySQL, it's come the MySQL DB.
Okay. Yeah, different extensions. Okay.
Yes. And third way is that PyODBC. It is the core, it's a driver type of thing, so it's connected different way. And we realize that all is connecting in the different way. Also, the fourth way, Flask SQL Alchemy. So we want to know that what's the actually main difference between SQL Alchemy and the Flask SQL Alchemy, which is the Flask providing.
See, Flask SQL Alchemy is just an extension in the Flask framework itself. That means it is built on the top of SQL Alchemy, but it comes within Flask. That means it is well tuned with the Flask application.
So what's the benefit we get from that?
Yeah, as I said, it is well tuned with the Flask application. Okay. Means if you want to integrate a database application with a Flask application, you would easily be able to do so if you are using Flask SQL Alchemy. While if you are using SQL Alchemy, you will be able to do so, but you may need to do some extra sort of.
Okay, so will you that show some difference whenever we connect the data?
Yeah, so Kumar, I guess both of the screencasts have been provided for these two things. I guess SQL Alchemy.
So what is the minimum requirement? SQL Alchemy has that the sir has given.
Yeah.
And that this the one about that 4 all connection, no? SQL Alchemy, Flask SQL Alchemy, and Postgre 2 module is there, and PyODBC.
Okay.
So one short session you can take, not today or someday else.
Well, again, I cannot assure you that if we will be able to cover that, but as you know, we are just trying to cover those things which are which are in the scope of this course. If you want to, study more about it, maybe you can, ask about these things, maybe in some other sessions.
Okay.
So this week, sorry, I'll just complete. This week in DBMS, PDSA, and MAD, I think there is a lot of common topics. There are a lot of common topics.
And you will find at least week 7 for MAD 1 or DBMS a bit easy, or we can say a bit lighter as compared to the weeks.
Yes.
There is no major concept that is introduced, especially in this week 7.
So we may have some doubts which may come in DBMS also.
Okay.
Because this PSYCO, PG2, working with that, I think that was covered in DBMS course.
Yeah. Can understand. Okay. So you are using Postgres, right, in the DBMS course?
Yes, Postgres. And we are using that Psycho PG to
Python
connect
module.
through Python.
Okay. So, P Psycho PG, I guess. Okay. Yeah.
So the borders between the courses sort of gray area. So sometimes we may ask DBMS doubt in the MAD session, and I think this week in MAD also some of the PDSA topics have been covered.
Okay. Okay.
The
Sorry, I am not really sure about the PDSA course. I just have some
Yes,
knowledge
yes.
about
He is
DBMS.
talking about that the sorting thing,
Okay.
that kind of
Okay.
algorithm. Yeah.
Okay.
Am
Optimization.
I correct?
yes.
Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah, that's fine. But as I said, Charian, means we'll try to concentrate of what we have been trying to do here. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, if you have some other queries, we may try to address this, but a dedicated session for such things may not be possible.
I had interrupted, I think, Kumar earlier. Please continue.
No, fine. I was the one suggestion I was asking, sir.
Yeah.
So suppose we are making the converting SQL alchemy and the Flask SQL alchemy, which is that will be the better. So suppose in the future I want to take this entire database schema or the something to other server like a Django or something.
Okay.
Also, so which one is the better, to SQL alchemy or the Flask SQL alchemy? Or
See. I told you, means Flask SQL alchemy is just an extension of the Flask framework. Let me just try to put it some other way. See, the reason that why we are using this SQL alchemy doesn't matter if we are using Flask SQL alchemy or we are using SQL alchemy. The reason for using such wrappers is that doesn't matter which database we are using in the background or in the backend. Doesn't matter. We can anytime change that, because what we are doing is we are writing the model classes, right?
Yes.
Now you might be using the SQLite database, as we are working on maybe some minimal applications. We are not trying to scaling out those, but once you will try to scale out, you might be you might go for Postgres as you are using in DBMS course. So that actually won't affect your application. You just need to replace the database in the backend. It has been changed from SQLite to Postgres, but implementation won't change. It will remain as it is. That's the advantage of using this ORM here. ORM, object relational mapper.
So in this course, you will use that SQL alchemy only, no?
Yes, we will be using SQL alchemy only. And we are trying to use Flask SQL alchemy. As I said, that since it's an extension of Flask framework only, so they are very well tuned with each other.
Okay.
But nothing is preventing you from using SQL alchemy too, right? You can also use SQL alchemy in a Flask application.
Okay.
There's no restriction. Yeah.
So you will take that only SQL alchemy, and you will give some overview of the Flask alchemy.
See, what I feel is that SQL alchemy has already been given in the screencast. So we'll try to take Flask SQL alchemy in the live session.
Means both type of thing.
Yeah, so that you can get to know about both of those things. You can read about SQL alchemy from the screencast and Flask SQL alchemy at least from the sessions.
Okay, then we can create a question together.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, yeah, so as I said, means we will be starting from where we left in the last two sessions in the Friday session again, day after tomorrow. And the Saturday session, we will be trying to start with the APIs. If we'll be able to wrap up all of the things by the Friday.
Okay.
Okay, so any other thing, any maybe problem or doubt related to lab assignment? Okay, so seems like there's nothing. So Adarsh, can you please take it forward from here?
Sir?
Yeah, hello.
Sir, so I actually followed the last session of the for this instructor where we started with SQL alchemy, started with the database part. Like, sir, what is the schedule for this week? Like, will we continue from that part or we will start again?
Yeah, we'll start from where we left in the next session, in the Friday session, solve with instructor 2 to 4.
So we will do the API part also that time, or we will do
API will be done on Saturday.
Okay.
So yeah, actually we have renamed the title. I guess you just have joined. You were not present in the beginning half of this session. Yeah. So since you just have joined, let me just tell you one thing, that the titles for the remaining 2 sessions of this week have been changed. So the Friday session has been retitled to, I guess, full-fledged web application using SQL Alchemy. Instead, we will be using Flask SQL Alchemy as the extension there, so that it would be more easier for you. And in the Saturday session, we'll try to take up the APIs, or even REST APIs, not only APIs.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Okay, so if there are no doubts regarding the other things, so Adarsh, I request you to please take it forward from here.
Yeah, Abhishek, thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, so from here onwards, we'll be going with the conventional flow of our lecture, that is going through the practice and activity questions and trying to clear out your doubts if you have any. So obviously before that, it is important for me to know that how many of you have gone through the questions and have solved them and something like that. So that will give us clear ideas. Okay. Okay. So you have completed with all the activity and practice questions. Okay. So some of you have done with watching videos, not gone on to questions like that. Okay. So like that, if have you gone through at least questions? Okay, not solved them, but have you gone through, have a glance at the questions? Like, okay, what sort of questions are asked and all, something like that.
Yes, sir. I did the questions.
Okay.
There were some interesting questions in practice assignment. I think first and second.
Okay.
That was not directly connected to the lecture, but it was interesting to solve it. Okay,
yeah. So those are some type of questions which you would actually deal. Okay, what comes into the lecture is something that you would learn, but the type of questions that come on that part of lectures is the type of question that you saw. Okay. Generally when we talk about optimizing and then looking at, okay, what algorithm is there, what complexity is there, we will directly not be asked about, okay, this is the scene, what will be the complexity. Now, we'll be definitely given two different scenarios where we'll have to compare just the way it is happening in question number 3, I guess, in practice. Right?
Yes.
So these type of questions are something that we want you to look at. And as I've previously mentioned about the practice sessions, the practice questions, the idea of having practice question is to actually look at what parts need to be covered as far as knowledge is concerned about that particular topic. So when we are talking about backends, so we will be talking about what happens at the server side and what happens within the central processing unit, right? So how data is stored, what are the hierarchy of the memory structures and all. So, what are the properties of those memory structures? So that is the thing that we'll look forward. But what further on this platform? What further should I look at? I should look at how should I solve questions on complexities? How should I solve questions on something that is happening within the CPU memory, something like that. Yeah, so good that you raised that point. These are literally some 3 to 4 questions asked in practice section are literally good questions. So that will clear a lot of concepts. I hope you have solved those. Were you able to solve?
Yeah, I was able to solve, but
Okay.
with help from Google.
Okay. Yeah. So that is the thing. Yes. So that is the thing. When like there are few doubts of you people asking about the resources. So these are the resources. Every question in the practice session is a pointer to one resource. That is something that you should know. Okay. So even if it is, see, you might find questions in activity session that okay, this is directly asked from the slides. Sometimes you may not, but in practice section, what we look at is okay. We want our learners to go at this particular topic, do some research, and come with a solution.
Yes.
So this is a right process. What you have been following for solving those questions. Yeah. So like did everyone solve those questions? Yeah, obviously this is not for the people who have just watched the lectures, and obviously this is not expected at this stage that you have solved all the questions, but I'm just asking and taking a brief idea, rough idea. And not only about those three questions, we're talking about any part of activity and practice questions. Anywhere there is an ambiguity or something that you did not understand, so we'll try to take.
Yeah, Adarsh, just a minute. Sorry to interrupt you in between.
Yeah, yeah.
Bimlesh, are you present? Can you hear me? Bimlesh, can you hear me? Okay, Adarsh, I guess you can continue as of now. Okay, let me know once he replies. Okay.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, that's what my question stands. Is there any doubt regarding the practice and or activity questions that you have come to?
I have not this particular question, but through the topic we studied that time, the question comes in my mind. So should I ask?
Sorry, Kumar, I could not hear
I
you.
got some question that when I was reading the lecture and seeing the slides, so some question come in the mind about the scaling and the optimization.
Okay.
So can I ask that question here?
Yeah, sure. So yeah,
Okay.
it should definitely not, it should not be a directly activity question. Obviously, you
Okay.
can ask. Yeah, it can be a doubt. No problem.
So in generally, whenever we talk that bandwidth and we calculate the some processor and the RAM and there, so how fast it's calculating and how fast we are going. No? Now see that question is there. So doesn't matter how much memory I got in the on the server side and how fast it is calculating. So it is certainly possible after some instant it's going to overflow. Um, for example, so when suppose I have a three tier of the website, or I can say that suppose the situation of the server is like that. So client is in some country and the server is hosted in the some other part of the country and the database is the some other part of the country. So whenever one user request to the any query, so it's go on the server and the server send the request to the database and it's take the some output from the database. Then on the output server side language, we use some algorithm to manipulate that, and after making algorithm, we refine the result and send to the user. That is the entire process, no?
Yeah, all right. Yes.
So in that, I have a question. So optimization can happen many places, the three places. First, When the this thing the sending time is okay, because it's take that user request, suppose search, and it's sent on the database, but the database is taking time to do and the sending to the server. So one time is there, it's consuming. Second time, even doesn't matter how fast we are writing algorithm. So okay, I'm writing algorithm and it's take some second, some in the fraction of the second, it's doing that, no? So and after that, how much data it is sending to the client. So this data also traveling, it's taking the time. The question is that suppose everything is the fast and the optimize at much is possible, but whatever the optimization is there, it will be in the fixed time. Suppose 0.1 second or the millisecond they takes. But what happens if the 1,000 or 10,000 users at a time is doing the same thing? Then how the system works?
Yeah. So, good question. See, what happens is, we'll try to answer this in simple way. Okay, what happened when we studied about when we studied about week 1? Okay, so there we talked about round trip time, right? So there were some numericals you saw.
Yes, yes,
Okay,
that's
so
what.
yeah, so you talked about round trip time. So there we were talking about okay, this is the distance. Okay, between the two stations, and this is the speed, and the speed of signal going on to the cable was considered as 2 into 10 raised to power 8 meter per second. So that was a fixed value that we gave, and we cannot do much with that value. Okay. Okay, so at that stage, consider yourself in week 1. At that stage, you knew only about two stations, a client and a server station, uh, apart with the distance of certain, like a certain kilometers, certain 1,000 kilometers, and you knew only speed of light or the speed of signal on that particular cable. Other parameters which were also involved were not taken into consideration. Okay, so at that time, if we wanted to calculate what is round trip time, we did some calculation. Okay, distance, the speed is equals to distance upon time, and we did something and we came up with an answer. Okay, for round trip time, we multiplied it with 2. Okay, no problem with that. So at that stage, you know, okay, these are the conditions that I have to work with and come up with a solution. In week 3 and week 4 and week 5, when you came forward, okay, some complexities got added into that. Okay, so when at this stage, now when we are talking about week 7 content, so here, when we are at week 7, we are not only talking about, we are not only considering, we are not considering that round trip time. We are not considering about the distance of servers and what happens. What are we considering at this stage? What is happening within the CPU, right? So let's say if I talk about latency within the CPU, if and that highly depends on what type of accessing units or what type of actuator or what type of storage units I'm using, right? So you currently your focus is on only CPU. When you were in week 1, your focus was only on the distance between the two, the server and the client. Okay, when you go ahead with other weeks, your focus might shift to something else. Okay, but in the real world, the scenario which you mentioned, that a station of client, server, and the database, 3 points lying at 3 different places, right? That is more real scenario where all the parameters which we talked about till now will come into picture. Okay, so when all these parameters come into picture, each of these parameters will act as an aspect where you can optimize, right? So when you something, if you at the stage 1 where you were talking about distance between the server and speed of the cable, you could have done something to reduce that distance. That is one way of optimizing. Okay, you could have done something to improve the quality of cable so that the speed would increase from 2 to 2.5. Okay, so that is one optimization level. Okay, now when we're talking about week 7 and we're talking about week backends and what happens within the CPU and server, we can talk about optimizing at the stage of CPU, right? At the stage of memory unit and the levels below that. right? When we go ahead, we will talk about optimizing at the client side, at the front end, right? When we go ahead of that, we'll talk about optimizing at the testing level. Okay, the time taken for testing an app. Let's say if there is a testing, if there is a validation, we can work on optimizing that, decrease the time taken by all those steps, right? So these are all aspects that you take into consideration while you optimize your complete app, right? So optimizing an app has a so many aspects, and what you are talking are one of the aspects, right? So when we talk about optimizing, we not only talk about one part of it, we study it in a way that we can at a max talk on one part of it. But when we try to solve the real world problem, we'll have to try to consider all the aspects of optimization.
Sir,
Right?
can I specify my question again? That what main thing is there till now? I have a doubt on that.
Okay.
So suppose
Okay.
any.
So let me, before you do that, just tell me, did I understand your question well and try to answer it?
Yes, sir, but I want to one specific doubt I want to ask in that.
Okay. Okay. Sure.
Let me clear that you told that yes. So suppose I'm not talking the optimization of the database, not talking optimization of server as well as the bandwidth, because these all are the fixed thing. Once I will optimize, then it is fixed for the 1 year or 2 years. Suppose I increase the power of the CPU, I will increase up to a certain limit time. But I'm talking about that what's happened if 10,000 people or the more than that simultaneously hitting the same server, and the same algorithm is going to run for that all the so much time. So whatever the speed I increase, at certain time limit will be reached. So what happens? So everything is the static. If I increase, optimize distance, everything is static, calculative. But there is a no control over that user input, user search. So they can. It is possible in 1 hour difference, only 2 users search the website. But suddenly, in some time interval, the 10,000 people will come on that at a time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So yeah, correct. So that is a very practical situation, and
yes,
you may have come across that situation while filling the form for IITM online degree.
yeah, and
Right?
sometime result come,
Yeah,
and that
result for, yes,
yes,
exactly. So every time what, yeah, so that is one thing that you as an app developer will not have control on. You definitely cannot control the number of users hitting your app or your website, right? So that is the reason we face a crash. And you may have seen that note at the end of every note application form that you fill. Even though the deadline is this date, try to fill it 5 days before, try to fill it 2 days before. Why? Because everyone goes on hitting that URL at the last instant. What happens? The users, what you're talking about, the number of users that increase, that spike in the users come at the last part of the deadline, when you're approaching the deadline.
yeah. So what is the solution of this and where we will study about that?
See, so yeah, so one solution that I would think of is, see,
Kumar,
yeah,
excuse
uh,
me.
yeah, Narendra, sure.
Yeah, Kumar, we will address this kind of issue in MAT too. So
Okay.
if you will take that MAT 2 course, then you will know.
Okay, then
Okay.
I should wait then.
Okay, sir. Because that in this week there was a scaling type of the sir was teaching about the scaling, no? So I thought that
Yeah,
so
correct. So even when we talk about scaling, we think of a population that might hit our website at certain point of time. So that is data analysis, right? So we do an analysis of, okay, at what instant of time, what population or what amount of population would hit my URL. So that study is done before. See, when you say that I want to increase my bandwidth from 1 gigabits per second to 2 gigabits per second, it was 1 gigabits per second initially, that nobody decided. But going to two, that has to be decided. Should I take two? Should I take three? So how will I come up with that number 2, 3? I will look at what should be my bandwidth so that these much people or this much data or this much amount of content can be sent or received. So I'll have to study about that, and then only I can go to a target number. Okay, I need to increase my bandwidth to 5 gigabits per second. Then only I can accommodate all the users. So that study needs to be done, and maybe that part in detail will go with AppDev.
Okay.
So when you asked, when you said this, I just remembered in week 1, I think week 1 or week 2, there was a question about what is the minimum RAM required if a certain number of people are watching YouTube videos.
Yes, correct. Yeah. So even I had that question in my mind when Kumar was asking the question. Okay.
So for that, I just had a doubt now when I heard your reply. That is, for each person who is connecting to that server, that much the amount of video that is being sent, that is that RAM is allocated to the user who connects.
No, that is server's plan. See, you will face buffering and loading issue only when your network is not strong.
Oh, okay.
Right. So that is the RAM of server, not the client.
Okay.
Right. So we are talking about facing issues when there are a lot of users. So that number of users does not have any effect on my system's RAM.
I think that question was, what is the minimum RAM required if so many people have to connect and watch the video?
Correct. So that was in context of server.
Yes, yes. So the server's RAM, we have to decide based on the number of people who will connect.
Yes. And I guess YouTube may have done that.
Yes, okay.
So yes, I saw a message that Vimlesh is back. So Abhishek, would you like to go ahead and ask what you wanted to? So Abhishek, are you there?
Yeah, sorry, Adarsh. Yeah, I was on mute actually. Yeah, am I audible, Adarsh?
Yes, Abhishek.
Okay, so English, are you here?
Yes, hi, good evening.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, I just wanted to tell you one thing. I guess you created one thread in the discussion forum, asking for the textbooks or references, right?
Yes, I had requested to Dhanya ma'am also regarding this.
Yeah, that actually got unnoticed. I request you to please create one more new thread. Okay, just create a fresh thread.
I'll do that today only.
Yeah, thank you. Just wanted to tell you this. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, actually that got unnoticed, so that's why we are requesting you to create a new thread.
I'll do that again. Thank you.
Sure.
Okay.
One doubt about HTTPS. What I understood from the lecture is that if you are using an HTTPS protocol to call a website, then you have to get it from the source. You cannot get a cached version. Is it right?
Hello.
Hello. Am I audible?
Yeah. So yeah, I heard your question. Yeah. So HTTPS, what you're saying is you have to take it from retrieve data from the source itself, right? And then you won't have cache.
Yes.
Okay, so see, HTTPS is, as far as what I understand from HTTPS is, what it does is it keeps a secure part of it. What we say a secure socket. Okay, so what it does is it does not allow, let's say I have a source and then the user of that source, and there is a connection between this. Okay, a connection has been established. So what happens is if the connection is not secure, someone from outside can come and what we say infiltrate this connection, and then might get the same data, okay, without even requesting to the server. What HTTPS does is it will not let that happen. Okay.
So
Now,
basically,
if
with HTTPS, according to the lecture, if I remember correctly, packet sniffing is not possible.
yes,
Okay.
okay. So if in that case, if HTTPS has that, see, it is a protocol. So if the protocol is defined in a way that it will not allow certain part to be cached or certain part to not be cached, okay, then you can talk about caching. But see, there was one question when we talked about caching. So the data, what needs to be cached and what doesn't have to be cached, that depends on the server, right?
Yes.
The server decides that what will be cached and what will not be. So in that case, and HTTP is only a protocol. So I cannot connect the rules of cannot connect the authority of server and the capabilities of HTTPS.
Okay. And yeah, one more doubt I had about this is I'm not sure if this is in DBMS or MAD1.
And there is also a chance that, hello.
Yes, yes. Sir.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. So where was I? Till where could you listen?
No, I heard you. I heard you.
Yeah. So that is what. So there may be a chance. So you cannot comment on or make it a fact that okay, if HTTPS is there, there won't be any cacheability. So that is the sole authority is given to the server.
Okay. What I meant by caching is an intermediary server, like a proxy server will not cache that and give it to the requesting entity. Whereas for HTTP,
Possible.
it is possible. That is what I understood from the lecture.
Yeah. So with HTTP, it is possible. With HTTPS, it may or may not be possible.
Okay. And this proxy server, that is on the client network or on the server network?
Okay, so proxy server.
The reason I asked this particular thing, I am not sure whether this is in DBMS or MAD1, but that overlap is there this week.
Okay, so what is that you want to ask about that?
So there are different, I think this is in DBMS. There are 4 types of caching. One is at the proxy server level. I think they have shown proxy server to be in client network in the slide. And the other is at the database level. Then the, I think it's called connection level caching between the JDBC and
yeah. So see, with the term proxy server, we can understand that it is a server, but we cannot say that it is a part of server. It is something in between of client and the original server that serves the actual data.
Okay.
Okay, so it is something that is allowing us to build the one of the things that is allowing to build as a something what we can call it a firewall, right? So it is one of those components. It is like one of those soldiers that is not allowing us to directly see what is beneath or beyond. Okay, so it is trying to create a virtual wall between the client and the server. So does that mean it is a part of server? It is not correct 100%. It can be an independent body which is not a part of server, but preventing some invasion done between if there is a connection between client and that original server.
Yeah, in that slide it is written it is part of the client network. That is the term used, client network.
So client network, right? So whenever a client is, see, there is one server and there are number of clients, right? So whenever a client, let's say I have a 10 client and the third client is trying to ask for a resource from that one particular server. So whatever connection is being established between that particular client, third client and the server is that client network. It is not the client machine.
Okay.
right? So client, if the slides had said that the proxy server is a part of client machine, then it would have been a part of client. Or on the server machine, then it would have been a part of server. But it is proxy server is itself a server, independent part that is not exactly a part of server. But maybe let's say, okay, let's try to find out the meaning of proxy. So proxy means near to server. You can consider that.
Okay.
Okay, something sitting. Just the example of soldiers and such. Someone, an intruder is there in the outside. You have what you can say a fort. So that fort is your server, and the boundary that is formed around that fort, that will be definitely closer to the fort, not the part of fort. So that boundary is the proxy server.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Anything else? Okay. Now, anything related to specifically to questions? Obviously, this whatever we have discussed now will definitely help you to solve questions in some context. Okay, and also from the content and from the previous weeks. But yeah, specific to questions. And definitely, if there is a doubt that okay, I have not gone through the questions and don't know what my doubts can be, you can definitely ping us on this course. Narendra? Okay, so
Yes.
Yeah. Actually, you had unmuted one, so you wanted to add something.
No.
Okay.
I just wanted to ask where he someone was asking that HTTPS response cannot be cached, something like that.
Yes, I saw that. I saw that in Professor Nitin Chandrajudan's lecture.
Okay, I just wanted to know the source. Yeah.
I think it is lecture 4. I am not sure. I don't know the exact lecture number, but one of the lectures he mentioned that HTTPS basically you cannot see what is in the packet. It is encrypted.
Yes.
And therefore, if you reach a proxy server and the proxy server wants to push the content before sending it to the actual server, it will not know what is there inside. So it cannot send a cached version. So additional hops will be taken.
Okay.
Yeah, so means if the content is encrypted, then of course definitely it may not be cached, but yeah, if it is encrypted, there is a possibility it can be cached in the proxy.
HTTPS by default means that the content is cached, that the content is encrypted.
But yeah, still there might be some things that you can make available to the users.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what. So that availability, that part that we want to make available to the users is decided by server. Okay, moving on. Anything else?
Sir, I have a few doubts related to that. So actually, it is not directly correlated to subject, but the subject as well as what we see in the real world. So, and it's about that request and response type of things. So, can I ask on that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so suppose sometime we feel that we see that some website and they restrict us after some time. They say that in the 1 month you visited that website 20 times or 30 times. After that, you have to be logged in. So actually, how he comes to know that, because I every time I change that my internet on off and the IP every time changing. So how actually he comes to know that I visited his website 20 times or the 30 times? So the way then whatever I thought about this, I'm just telling that I thought, okay, maybe he's tracking some privately my IP address or something. But suppose I'm using the Flask, and the backside of the Flask, I try to print that the request method. So how many responses? So I have seen that some method is there in the request who is giving bunch of the information about the client side, and I try to track that all the request. Then I got only the two type of IP address which comes on the server from client side. One, that client is whatever the internet he is using, this type of IP address, which changes time to time. And another is that if client is diverted from some website, he click my thing, so that type of information is coming. So, and all is the dynamic in the nature. So even the same computer, two time I on off do internet or change the internet, change the service provider, they change. So how he gets that about client server, how server come to know about the client? Okay, this is the fixed client.
No, so see the IP addresses have versions, right? IPv4, IPv6. So these
Pardon?
versions of IP addresses are specific to machines. They don't change.
No. Can you tell me again, sir?
This versions, the IP address versions, IPv4, IPv6. So there will be two IP addresses that are only specific to a particular machine, right? See, whatever you try to do with the Flask app today was done on the local machine. Okay.
No, I just tried to on the online server. I created one Flask application on online server, and which is in the different country. And I try to see my position through the server, because that I try to extract my position myself through the servers, but I didn't get any information than that. I got the IP address, whatever I told. I will check that there is one method, request.info.
Yeah. Even I don't remember the method exactly, but yeah, something like that will give you a bunch
Yes.
of lines in the account.
Yeah, it is good. The last time I sent to the Abhishek sir the bunch of the methods. So if we execute all the method at a time, I try to one by one using everything put in list, and try to execute. But none of the thing I went one by one everything 100 method, but none of place I just found that much information. Then how server know my exact thing, that this particular client is hitted to my website 20 times.
Okay, yeah. So as far as I can understand, there is not only one method of knowing. Okay, this changing IP address and changing machine is not only one. See, you log in. Let's say if you go with a particular website, and then okay, you're not logging in now. You're saying that
Yes.
it allows a certain number of trial hits, right?
Yes.
Before it prompts for logging in. So as far as I understand, knowing only IP address is not only the one thing that server comes the client's information from. There may be a
Yes.
number of things which I am currently not sure of, but there are a number of other things that will be there to identify a client. Okay, and these and let's say we're talking about a machine. So as I said that there is an IP address that is confined to a machine, that is particular to a machine. So there may be other codes encrypted within to that machine, which might not change even if you try to change the IP address.
But the thing is that whatever information server is getting only through the request thing, no? Because request is the responsible to take the request from the client. That is the only one way. No, there is no other way.
Yeah. So
What?
see, that's what I'm saying. So what happens is, at when I go to simply type my URL, okay, and go for IP address and this, that is something that you can see. But see, when we studied about the curl commands, okay,
Can I
so
say something about it? I mean,
yeah, yeah,
what I feel.
yeah, sure.
Maybe they are using some cookies, and they will send the cookie.
Okay.
That cookie is only storing the information that how many times a date and how many times the like client has visited the website.
Okay. So how cookie
And
transfer? The cookie transfer through the request or
yeah,
some? Okay.
cookie you set on the server, and once the cookie and cookie then the
One
it says
second, sir. I'm the client. You are the server. Now tell me.
yes. So once you send once you send me a request,
Hmm.
then I will send a cookie to you, and that cookie
Cookie.
will be
One second.
yeah.
Once I sent you request, then you sent me the through the returning type of
Yeah, I
response
will. Yes,
kind. You
yes.
sent the one cookie.
Yeah, cookie, and that cookie will be stored in your browser.
Okay.
And whenever you will send me the request after that point, that cookie will be sent to me again.
Okay.
That's how the cookies work.
So
Once the cookie is set to your browser, you will I mean cookie is for one domain. Like I mean cookies cannot be mixed.
one second.
Yeah.
One domain means what?
And
Domain name or client?
let's say I am Google. I am a
Okay.
Google server. I am sending you a request. I mean, I am sending you a cookie, and there is and Facebook is also there. He is also sending his own cookie.
Okay.
So these cookie will not be mixed.
Okay.
So
Fine.
whenever you will send the request again, that cookie will be sent to me.
But one thing, sir. If you are a Google server, then you are sending not only me the cookies, because server has the only one. You are sending the simultaneously many cookies to many client, no?
Yes.
Okay. Then what's happened after that?
I mean, you can think of it. It's a small like portion of storage,
Okay.
and that storage you are sending to the browser, and browser stores that information, and whenever the next request will go, that the cookie will also go with that request.
So cookie is always going with that request method. No?
Yeah, always.
Either it is the post or the get, doesn't matter. It's always
No,
generally.
I am not sure about the post or get method, but whenever the request is I mean whenever you will
Request to the server.
request to the server, that cookie will go.
Okay, so cookie is containing every information. So if before sending, I know that cookie, I remove that cookies, then the restriction will remove from my thing.
Restriction, I mean the cookie has expiration date. You can keep the I mean the I didn't understand, like cookie you can set the expiration date on the cookies.
No. Because you are the server, then you can put the cookie on the expiration date. But I am the client.
Yeah.
So you are putting on my computer cookies.
Yes.
But so you can do anything through network. But I have a overall access to my computer, no? So I can manually remove that cookie.
Yeah, you can manually remove that.
So that means that restriction is done. That will be that restriction will.
You can actually go to your browser and see how many cookies you have stored.
Okay, and from which server it is the sent.
Yes.
Okay. So what is the then? Okay, sir. So I think about the cookie we will learn in the further week, or It
About
is
the
I'm
cookies,
asking.
a cookie, I don't know whether you will learn about the cookie or not, but you can explore by yourself. I mean, cookie is very common thing.
Okay. But we okay, we will learn then we will see that. Okay.
That is one way. And how, I mean, which website you are talking about, how they are tracking, I don't know, but this is certainly a way that you can use to track your client.
Okay, like that medium.com.
Yes.
So if in the more time I
I mean,
visit this,
nowadays, if whenever you will like visit some website, you will say that we are using cookies, to
very
accept the cookie, that kind
like
of.
that, yeah, Stack Overflow say that, but sometimes anyone doesn't even say that.
Yes. I mean, if someone is using the cookie, they will, like, I think you will have to, if you are using cookie in your website, then you will have to like give this notification, or
To
it's
the
automatically, I don't know. But
okay, okay. And yes, this question is clear. So I have to study about that different at the application level. Problem is that, sir, the thing is written over the net and everywhere, but the no place written as that clear the how it's actually work on the application
yes,
level.
yes, that's
It
that's
is,
what you have to figure out.
yeah, it's all about the written about the theory and the
Yeah,
about
cookie is
knowledge.
written. I mean, you can think of the cookie is one kind of storage, which there some information you can store on your client's browser.
So service worker is also there, no, which JavaScript try to
Yeah,
store some his database.
yeah.
Yeah, yes. So cache is also one type of data storage only. No?
Yes, cache. In the cache, you store the like whatever the response you get from the server.
Means entire website, HTML and all code, all thing.
Yeah, I think you can store that. I mean, the T progressive web apps, you must have heard about them. If you have heard about the, so that,
Offline, I heard
yeah,
that.
that's what they are doing. They are like storing the HTML and CSS there. Some of the
Okay,
HTML and CSS, and they can extract the data from your like browser or anywhere.
okay, okay. And running his website through my content only.
Yes,
Yeah, I have seen that. Desmos is doing like that. Even after loading the thing, if internet get connection lost, but it's working fine until unless I don't request anything on.
yes.
Okay. And one last query is about that. It's the mixed of the two, three things. It's the PDSA, DBMS, and everything together mixed. So I don't know that question is actually suitable for this course or not. So can I ask it is regarding that storage.
You
So
can ask.
okay. So suppose that we write some algorithm, and at the algorithm, whatever we study, so for it is the very few number 100 is okay, fine. But whenever we talk about the huge amount of the number and the storage, and then algorithm on the huge amount of the data. So where we keep that data and not in the beginning stage. Suppose I modified the data in the particular structure. So where in the website we keep, because that on the web there is a database only, and SQL, whatever we are learning SQLite, no?
Yes,
And SQLite has that only one proper way, and there is some term and condition to use the database in the particular format.
yes.
But my database is my data generated is the different way. So how to put that data?
I mean, as far as I can understand, you want to create your own algorithm for searching, and you
Uh,
want to store the information, and you want to use your own the
correct, correct.
algorithm.
Suppose I'm created one binary search tree,
Yes.
and he used the linked list, and after that one object is created.
Yeah.
So an object has that 1 million data, and this all connected the balanced binary tree.
Yeah.
This entire object is only one.
I mean, these kind of things has already been done in DBMS. I mean, the SQL databases.
No, sir. The question is that it is only right now object only. So it is only one quantity, only one object. It is not a something table type of thing, because I created object type of thing. So is that any other place on the web we write or keep, or that some
I mean, you can store it in the JSON format and then load it on your server, and whatever the algorithm you have written, you can perform that. I mean, as far as I can understand, what you are trying to ask, that let's say you have created a tree out of the data, and you
correct?
want to store that.
Yes.
So yeah, so I mean, in the Python you can serialize your object, and you can store on your server, and then you can like load that object, and then whatever the algorithm you have written, you can use that algorithm to search.
So what is the your meaning of the serialize the data?
Serialization means, uh, I mean, you have done the Python course, na?
Yes.
Are you doing the MLF also?
Yes.
So there is a way serialization. You can search on the internet, and there is a way you can store your Python object persistently.
If Python object is the tree and tree is the only one object.
I mean, you can store any object. You can store dictionary. You can create your own object and then serialize it. This is the common technique in machine learning. What you do in machine learning, you train your model, that will be an object. You serialize it and keep it somewhere, and whenever you need it, you load it. So you can use.
In machine learning, whatever till now we study, that out of the big data, I just extract the information, and information extract in the abstract way, like that in the some formulation way. So it is just the few.
Did you train any model till now?
No.
Okay,
Training
so
was not, but I created one optimization through the regression.
yeah,
Is the square list method.
least square method.
Yes, I
Yeah,
created. Yeah, I wrote the code for that.
Okay, you wrote it. You didn't use any library or something. I mean, I can tell you. You search on the internet how to serialize a Python object.
Okay.
Okay, and then you create a class and create an object of that class.
Okay.
Okay, and then that class you serialize. So it will be stored in some byte format in your computer, and then you close it, and you can load that file, that serialized file, anywhere. I mean, you can send it to me. I will take that file and load it, and it will be, I mean, the object will be stored in my computer.
Okay, I got it. Means serializing. So the C pickle is the one way of serializing.
I mean, the way you write the Python file, the text files.
Okay.
How you open the file, and then you write whatever I mean, there is some procedure to write a file in the Python, right?
Yes.
You open the file, and you whatever you want to write, you write there, and then the same kind of thing. You can store the text in some format, na, in Python. What you are doing in CSV here, you are reading data from CSV. You can write CSV from Python, something like that. You can do that.
Yes.
Yeah, the similar thing you can do with the objects also. You can store the object in some format, and then you can, whenever you need, you can load it and start working there.
Okay. So now one last thing question in that. Converting in serialization and whenever we loading that particular object,
Uh,
so is that reading that object also is going to take time, or that it?
reading. I'll tell you. Let's say Python. Let's take an example of Python dictionary. Dictionary is
Yes,
an object, right?
correct, correct.
You and you will, if you want, you can serialize that dictionary and then close that wherever you have written that dictionary and
Okay,
open a new tab. I mean, open a whatever if you are using the like notebook, uh,
okay. Yes,
or all
submit
anything. Yeah,
any
you
item.
can. Yeah, that and that will be stored in some file. I don't remember the extension, but that will be like that will be stored in some file. Then there is a mechanism you can load that file and you can see the dictionary.
Okay.
Yeah, the way you write the text file,
Mhm.
it's the similar kind of thing there for any object in Python.
Okay.
Uh,
But that question was from in my mind from the last term itself, sir.
yeah, so whatever you are saying, you have created an object and you have an algorithm. The object can be tree, anything, and you have created an object and you want to store it somewhere. So you serialize it and store it somewhere, and whenever you need, you load it and you run your algorithm.
Okay. I will try to do this
Yeah,
if I get the time, because that one algorithm I created to store that 1 billion phone number,
yeah.
and dynamically deleting and updating the Sudarshan sir was given in the real world problem.
Hmm.
So I created one algorithm which was the dynamically deleting any phone number from the database,
Hmm.
and inserting or updating whatever. So this was taking only time in the millisecond.
Okay,
But
one
on yes,
millisecond. I mean, a time complexity is order of one.
yes, I created algorithm like that. So it's time complexity is order one.
Hmm.
Even it is the billion of number or the trillion of number,
Yeah,
no
I
matter.
understand.
So, but and I didn't use that dictionary or no known module. So from the list, I created this algorithm. Now question came that whenever I save that data, suppose 1 million or zero point 0.1 million, it became the 150 MB. So only the problem was coming to saving the data. So before running the algorithm, I have to extract the phone number from the database. No? So
Yes.
algorithm was running fine. It is the very fast in the, it's take only when the searching the trillion number, the 10, 15 step max. But the taking the data and loading the data in the program, it was taking the time. So it was taking the 15-second time on the only loading on 15
So
or 20 seconds.
you want to store that data structure somewhere, right? That object.
Correct. So
Yeah, so you can store it. You can
SE is
serialize
not,
it. No problem.
that we can serialize it.
Yeah, you can. You are saying that you have stored it in the list.
Yeah, some particular structure. Yes.
Yeah, whatever the data structure is, if it's a Python object, you can serialize it and keep it somewhere. And whenever you need, you just load it.
Okay, fine.
You
I
go
will
and
try to
search.
do.
You go and search for the how to serialize an Python object.
Okay.
Pickle. I think it is pickle. I'll have to.
I,
You
oh, I
see
use that.
pickling. Yeah. You
No,
say
sir, but I
pickling.
use that pickle. I got it.
Yeah.
C pickle is very fast in the Python. Who convert every data in the byte and the he do. But at the end, it's also taking time, some second. It will reduce the time, but it will take 5 second time. It will reduce 20 second to 5 second, but it's also take time to 5 second.
I mean, still you will have to load your object into the memory. So it will take little bit of time.
Yes, yes, yes. So, but whatever there is a many database, no, we continuously live sending and searching, no. and it's only take the fraction of the second. So I was thinking which type of method is in the web technology, which which taking very fast. And if we can we particularly rearrange the data and put in the DBMS SQL RDBMS. So because the RDBMS is ready to use that, so we don't need some time to load the data. It's already ready.
Yes.
So that's CPP was taking time. I have seen that.
Okay.
It's reducing the time, the more than half. 20 seconds will become 5 seconds, but even 5 seconds is the lot. Means in the real world we can't apply this way. If I take the 5 seconds.
Yeah, that's what I know. I mean, you asked the question, how can I store the object? And that's what my answer is. And how can you reduce the time? I mean, it depends on the problem. Yeah.
Correct. Loading, because that an algorithm is ready to use that, but the question is that when the entire data is available. So how web technology managing this to convert in the
I mean,
piecewise
indexing.
and ready?
Okay, you want to like delete some entries also.
Yes, everything, all the thing, delete,
Correct,
update,
correct.
check. Yes.
So I don't know. I mean, this is. I mean, this is one way you can store the information, and I mean, store a Python object.
Yes, that one way is there. So maybe I think we'll study the something indexing in the RDMS in the further
Yeah.
week. There I will ask this question.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. That's my two question was there, which is the complete.
May I quickly ask a question from graded assignment 6?
Yes. Yes. 6
Yes.
is on.
Yeah, it's
Deadline is
complete.
over. Yeah.
Deadline is over. So, graded assignment 6, question number 6. In the context of REST, a delete request that deletes a random resource in the database will be idempotent, not idempotent, safe, or all of the above.
Yeah, so it's not idempotent.
Okay, yeah, that is the correct answer. But could you explain what does that mean?
So by the idempotent means one. I mean, if you will send the identical request, the result will be same. But if you are like deleting the random values inside the database, that if the if with the request, if with the delete request ID is like associated, so
Yes.
I mean, the like the result will be similar, will be same. I mean, at least we will not delete the other entries.
Okay.
But
What I understood from this is that if the word random was not there in the question, then
yeah,
it will be idempotent.
yes.
Okay, got it.
But
So
in the
idempotent means, I think, if you keep executing the same query again and again,
yeah,
it will still execute only once.
yes.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, okay. So any more queries? Okay, so if there is no queries, I can call it a day and finish the session. Is it fine? Narendra?
Yes. I mean, if
Okay.
there is no query, then we
Yeah,
can
yeah.
close the session.
Yeah, okay. So I feel okay. I feel this is fine. We can end it here. Okay, thank you, Kumar. Okay, so thanks. We can end this session. Sir, you can stop the next.